boys and girls. Time for another read aloud. And I'm sitting here with a friend, and I'm kind of thinking that this friend might be a really good clue about what book I'm about to read. So take a minute to think about it. How many of you said I'm going to read a Winnie the Pooh book? Well, that was a good guess, but it's a different book. I'm going to give you another clue, and I'm guessing that you're going to figure it out right after you see this. What do I have right here? Did you say hot buttered toast? Well, it is hot buttered toast, so that means that the book is about what character? Yep, that's it. Mercy Watson. And this book is called A Piglet Named Mercy, and it was requested by Lucy. So if you enjoy this book, make sure that you say thank you to Lucy. You can do that on Flipgrid sometime. Okay, A Piglet Named Mercy by Katie Camillo. I'm always happy to read a book by Katie Camillo. A Piglet Named Mercy. Mr. Watson and Mrs. Watson lived in a house on Deckawoo Drive. Deckawoo Drive was an ordinary street in an ordinary town. And Mr. and Mrs. Watson were ordinary people who did ordinary things in ordinary ways. One day, Mrs. Watson said to Mr. Watson, "I wonder if we aren't just the tiniest bit too predictable." "Predictable? Us?" said Mr. Watson. "Surely not." "It's just that sometimes I wish something different would happen," said Mrs. Watson. "Things are just fine as they are," said Mr. Watson. But then something different did happen. Someone very small and not at all ordinary found her way to the Watsons' house on Deckawoo Drive. Mr. Watson made the discovery when he opened the door for the morning paper. "Mrs. Watson," he called, "come see." "Oh, the little dear," said Mrs. Watson. "Oink," said the piglet. "I think she's hungry," said Mr. Watson. I'm going to try to read this book in the screen, so just give me a second. "Is that a pig?" said Eugenia Lincoln. Eugenia Lincoln lived next door, and she did not approve of surprises or pigs. "It is," said Mrs. Watson. "Can you believe our luck?" "Don't be ridiculous," said Eugenia Lincoln. "A pig is not lucky at all." "Think perhaps the piglet would like a bottle of warm milk?" said Baby Lincoln. Baby was Eugenia's younger sister, and she was fond of surprises and piglets. Mr. Watson scratched his head. "A bottle of milk? I don't know. This is all so unpredictable." "Leave it to me," said Baby Lincoln. "Oink," said the piglet again. Mrs. Watson picked up the piglet and took her inside. She wrapped her in a blanket. "Have you ever seen anything so darling?" she said. "Never," said Mr. Watson. "Here is the warm milk," said Baby Lincoln. "I have it right here." Eugenia said, "This is absurd." The piglet did not think it was absurd at all. She drank the entire bottle. then she burped and oinked and went looking for more. "Oh, my goodness," said Mr. Watson. "Watch out," said Eugenia. "She seems to like toast very much," said Baby. "Oh, the darling, darling thing," said Mrs. Watson. "Mr. Watson," said Mrs. Watson, "perhaps you would like to hold her for a bit?" "Certainly," said Mr. Watson. He took the piglet in his arms. He rocked her. He hummed. "How extraordinary," said Mr. Watson. "She is a porcine wonder." "This piglet is a wish come true," said Mrs. Watson. "What a mercy she is," said Baby. "There you go," said Mr. Watson. "We will call her Mercy." "She is not a mercy," said Eugenia. "She's a pig." "Oink, oink," said the piglet. "You cannot name a pig Mercy," shouted Eugenia. But they did name her Mercy. She was entirely unpredictable. She was not at all ordinary, and she was very, very loved. The end. And the perfect way to end this book is with a bite of hot buttered toast. Yum, yum. See you next time, friends.